Well, hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Want to come to you with another one of these summer of 2024 book hauls that I've been, my collection of books coming in. I got to get them filmed, and so here I am trying to get as many of these done so I can get them uploaded and let you watch and take a look at what I've been adding to the library. So this is a stack of books that I got at Thrift World. So they were all very well priced. I didn't spend a ton of money on them. Probably about, I think, $1 for all the paperbacks, $2 for the hardbacks. And I thought I did pretty good. So I want you to take a look and see what I got and let me know what you think. So let's go ahead and get started. And I will try not to read the cover of all of them. I'll read a few of them, but not all of them, just because this is a good-sized stack of books. The first one is by Avi, and Avi is an author that writes like upper elementary and middle grade books, and I got started on these because of my middle grade projects where I've been reading middle grade books, reading what the kids are reading. And so this one's Crispin at the Edge of the World, and this is a sequel to the Newbery Award-winning Crispin, The Cross of Lead. Yeah. So anyway, really cool cover. I kind of thought that was pretty neat. This is a book that comes from Hyperion Paperbacks for Children. It's out of New York, and it's a 2006 book. And this says, I'll read the back to you. It says, orphaned and marked for death, Crispin had abandoned hope before he met Bear, the enormous red-bearded juggler, sometime spy and everyday philosopher who helped Crispin escape his assassins and taught him to take control of his destiny. Now Crispin and Bear have set off to live their lives as free men, but they don't get far before their past catches up with them. Bear is being hunted by a secret brotherhood who believes he has turned informer. When Bear is badly wounded, Crispin must make decisions about their future, where to go, whom to trust. Along the way, they become entangled with an extraordinary range of people, each of whom affects Crispin and Bear's journey in unexpected ways. To find freedom and safety, they may have to travel to the edge of the world, even if it means confronting death itself. And so thought that sounded good. Love the cover art. But I like Avi, good author. If you've never tried Avi, they're like upper elementary, middle grade books, but great author. I've enjoyed some other books. I think I've read 3 or 4 others by Avi. Next one in the pile here is, and this one I bought solely based on the author. It wasn't, I'm not sure if I was familiar with the story or not, but the author himself is Jason Reynolds. Now, Jason Reynolds wrote the Track series, starting with the book 1, Ghost. And it was probably 3 years ago I read those. But if you've been following the channel for a long time, you'll remember I did a book review on all 4 of them in the series because I thought that those books were just phenomenal. He writes about in that Track series, he covers issues of mainly of African American kids in the inner city, and I thought he did a tremendous job of bringing to the public, bringing some tricky situations that kids can find themselves in, and so I thought he did an excellent job there, and so I bought this solely based on his name, and this is Long Way Down, and it says it got the Newbery Honor Award, and what is this one? American Library Association Honor Book. Michael Prince Award or Prince Award, I think, for excellence for young adults. And I had not heard of that award, but yeah, got that one. And I don't know anything about the book, so if you know anything about it, let me know. Here. Ton of awards. Look at right there on that front cover, all those awards that this book got. the Michael L. Prince Honor, the Newbery Honor, Coretta Scott King Author Honor, Walter Dean Myers Award winner, National Book Award long list, Los Angeles Times Book Prize, Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, this whole list goes on and on. That's pretty impressive. So I'm glad I went ahead and picked this up. Again, it was only $1, so it's not like I'm out a ton of money, even if it's something I don't end up liking. But this is from Anthem Books out of New York. It is from the year, oh goodness, where? 2017 book. So I'm real happy to get that and add that to my Jason Reynolds collection. Let me know what you think of that. Here's another one I bought solely on the author's reputation with me. I've thoroughly enjoyed his historical fiction. This is Edward Rutherford, and this is The Princes of Ireland, the Dublin Saga. And I have some other books by Edward Rutherford. He wrote a book on Paris, a book on London, a book on Moscow, one on New York. I've read the one on New York. I started the one on London. Loved them both. And so I bought that based on basically that New York book. That New York book was really good. Thoroughly enjoyed that. But this is from Ballantine Books. And, he also wrote Sarum, which I have somewhere, and The Forest. Those are a couple other books he wrote. But this is a 2004 book. And like I said, it was only $1. So I picked it up, and it's got some, it's kind of got a little dent in the cover there and maybe dog-eared a little bit on the cover corners. But overall, it's in pretty good shape. It's yellowed a little bit, but I mean, that just happens. So glad to have that. Here's another one that I found, Larry McMurtry. I can never go wrong with Larry McMurtry. He, of course, wrote the best Western of all time, Lonesome Dove, which I absolutely love. I'm going to be rereading it sometime in the near future. This is Boone's Lick, which I have never read, but the book was in pretty good shape, and I was super excited to add it. Pages are still crisp white. That's always a good sign. This comes from Scribner Paperback Fiction, published by Simon & Schuster. It's a 2000 book. This printing is 2001. But it says Larry McMurtry returns to the Old West in a fast-moving comic tale about a woman determined to conquer anything that stands in the way of an ultimate confrontation with her wayward husband. In his first historical novel in 10 years, Larry McMurtry introduces Mary Margaret, a 19th century version of the formidable, unforgettable Aurora Greenway of Terms of Endearment. Mary Margaret is married to Dickie, who hauls supplies to the forts along the Oregon Trail, as Mary Margaret rightly suspects enjoys the pleasures of other women across most of the frontier. Fed up and harboring a secret love of her own, she collects the kids, her brother-in-law Seth, her sister Rosie, and her cranky father, and makes her way westward to settle things once and for all. The story of their trek across the country is packed with elements McMurtry fans love. Encounters with historical figures such as Wild Bill Hickok and the U.S. Army Colonel Fetterman, whose incompetence resulted in one of the bloodiest massacres in the history of the American West. Larger-than-life fictional characters who join the family on their journey, and confrontations with nature at its wildest. With characters based on actual traders of the old Santa Fe Trail, Boone's Lick is vintage McMurtry. So I like Larry McMurtry and his writing. It's good stuff. And the book's not that long. It's only, 285 pages? No, 287 pages. There we go. 287 pages. So glad to add that. That'll be a good one. I don't know if I'll save it for next June or read it beforehand. I'm not sure. The next one I picked up, I was tickled to find because I have volume 1 of this book and I've not seen volume 2, so I was tickled to pick this up. This is Voices of Freedom, a documentary history by Eric Foner. Volume 2, 6th edition. I have volume 1 somewhere. I don't know if it's down. It might be downstairs. But Eric Foner is one of my favorite history writers. He does an excellent job. Most of his stuff talks about slavery and Civil War. That's where or Reconstruction, excuse me, slavery and Reconstruction. That's where most of his stuff is, his writings kind of evolve around. And I've thoroughly enjoyed all of his books that I've read. And this one, like it says, Voices of Freedom. It's in this case, it looks like it's got a lot of Latino voices that are being heard in this book. So it's bringing it more to the present. Glad to have this. It's just a collection of, different people's voices throughout history. And so, yay. Yay me. All right. Another favorite author of mine who does an excellent job of bringing history to the masses. This is Eric Larson. And this is Isaac's Storm, A Man, a Time, and the Deadliest Hurricane in History. And he likes to he writes keyhole histories. He doesn't typically write a history about a large segment of time. It's about one individual event. And I like his stuff. I've read a couple of his books. And this one is about, the back says, September 8th, 1900, began innocently in the seaside town of Galveston, Texas. Even Isaac Klein, resident meteorologist for the U.S. Weather Bureau, failed to grasp the true meaning of the strange deep sea swells and the peculiar winds that greeted the city that morning. Mere hours later, Galveston found itself submerged by a monster hurricane that completely destroyed the town and killed over 6,000 people in what remains the greatest natural disaster in American history. Isaac Klein found himself the victim of a devastating personal tragedy. Using Klein's own telegrams, letters, and reports, the testimony of scores of survivors, and our understanding of the science of hurricanes, Eric Larson builds a chronicle of one man's heroic struggle and fatal miscalculation in the face of a storm of unimaginable magnitude. Thrilling, powerful, and unrelentingly suspenseful, Isaac's Storm is the story of what can happen when human arrogance meets the uncontrollable force of nature. So all about Galveston, Texas in 1900. Real excited to read that. This was a book that was popular, I think this one's been popular almost the entire time I've been teaching. A lot of times they'll get this as a trade paperback for the classroom, and they'll do a book study inside the classroom itself. And this is Salt, A World History. So it's all about what salt has done for world history. And so kind of a neat little deal there. This is by Mark Kurlansky, and it is a Penguin book. And let me give you a date and stuff on this. And it came out in 2002. So yeah, this has been out. It came out a couple years before I started teaching. I just know that in all of the teacher books where you can order books for your classroom, this has always been in that collection. Just a book on salt, a history of salt. It says, until about 100 years ago, when modern geology revealed its prevalence, salt was one of the world's most sought-after commodities, a substance so valuable it served as currency. Salt has influenced the establishment of trade routes and cities, provoked and financed wars, secured empires, and inspired revolutions. Populated by colorful characters and filled with fascinating details, Mark Kurlansky's kaleidoscopic and illuminating history is a multi-layered masterpiece that blends economic, scientific, political, religious, and culinary records into a rich and memorable tale. So I am looking forward to that. It's something that it's the type of history it'd be right up my alley, I think. I think I'm really going to enjoy that. So there's another one. Oh no. This is a paperback that didn't get in my paperback book haul. Sorry about that. I'll go ahead and just show you since it's here. This is a Victorian mystery, Mrs. Jeffries, In the Nick of Time by Emily Brightwell. Now, I had bought one of these at our local community center and got it for like dirt cheap. And I thought it was kind of a fun, cozy mystery. And so I saw this one, picked it up. This just, again, goes in with the series. It is let's see, it came out in 2009 is when this one came out, and it's a Berkeley prime crime, New York, out of New York. And I'll go ahead and just read the cover to you. It says, train enthusiast Francis Humphreys was drawing his last breath while his relatives and neighbors were over for tea. But Inspector Witherspoon wonders if everyone was downstairs, who could have stolen into Uncle Francis's second-story study, killed him, and escaped. Mrs. Jeffries will have to lend her downstairs common sense to the upstairs murder mystery and hope that she and the inspector don't get derailed. She keeps house for Inspector Witherspoon and keeps him on his toes. Everyone's awed by Scotland Yard's successes, but they don't know about his secret weapon. No matter how messy the murder or how dirty the deed, Mrs. Jeffries' polished detection skills are up to the task, proving that behind every great man there's a woman, and that a crime solver's work is never done. So Mrs. Jeffries works in his house, and she's always helping to solve mysteries, and it's just a fun, cozy mystery. All right, next one in the stack here is a book by Mary Roach. Now, I've read this one, or I did audio on this one because I couldn't find it in the library, and I couldn't find a copy of it myself without paying full price, which I didn't want to do. But I absolutely love this book. It was very, very interesting. I talked about it on my channel at the time that I had listened to it. But it's called Stiff: The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers. Awesome pickup for the collection. This book is exactly that. It is like a biography for cadavers, and it talks about just all of the science behind cadavers, dead bodies. What happens to them, through the decomposition process. It talks to how they've been used in history, how science has gotten to use them so that they could study the muscles and the bones and all that kind of stuff. It is a really neat work, and comical at times, makes me laugh, and highly recommended. I thought this was a good one. Don't have a queasy. I hope you don't have a queasy stomach, because some of the stuff is it's just funny. Anyway, I don't want to ruin it too much, but highly recommend reading that. All right, the next one here, another Mrs. Jeffries mystery, Victorian Mysteries book. Now, this is a 3-in-1 book, so it's got 3 different of Mrs. Jeffries mysteries. It's got The Inspector and Mrs. Jeffries Dusts for Clues, and The Ghost and Mrs. Jeffries. Now, these are the first 3 in the whole series. There's a bunch of them, but the first 3 in the Mrs. Jeffries series, the Mrs. Jeffries saga, I guess. It's Learns the Trade, and this is by Emily Brightwell. Super excited about this, and of course, all 3 of those books are going to have different. They're going to have different publication dates, but you can see the long list of Mrs. Jeffries books. If you like cozy mysteries, I'd recommend it. It's fun. It's fun. This book was published in 2005, and I know I got this one at Books Revisited, and they actually had several versions of this. Like they were in 3 per volume, and they had. What they have, 3 or 4 of them, and so I picked this one up because it was the first 3, and I always like to read them in order if possible, but highly recommend that. All right, this is another Eric Larson book, and I need to look because I was thinking maybe I already had this, and I got it just on a chance that I don't. But my version, nope, it's not. I don't have this one. Take that back. The Devil in the White City is the one I have over there. All right, so this is The Splendid and the Vile by Eric Larson. And this one's in hardback, very good shape. Was very happy to pick that up. But it says a saga of Churchill family and the Defiance during the Blitz. So, World War II, based in World War II. This is from Crown in New York. It's a 2020 book. I'm not going to read the cover on this because you can read the subtitle and get the general idea. So all about World War II. So good pickup there. Last couple books. This one was sounded like it could be interesting. I don't believe I have anything on this stuff in my collection, but this is by Michael B. Oren, and it's Power, Faith, and Fantasy: America in the Middle East, 1776 to the present. So I have nothing on this in my collection that I can think of anyway. And so for $1, I thought, yeah, I can take a chance on that. And it's a it's a good size paperback here, and it comes from wait for it. It comes from W.W. Norton and Company, and it is a 2007 book. This particular copy is 2008, this publishing, but the original copyright's 2007. So yeah, I was very happy to add that. I don't think I need to really read anything. It kind of tells the story there in the subtitle. And then the last one for this book haul. I hope everybody's been patient. I've been trying to go fast through them, but these are kind of some fun detective books, and it is Janet Ivanovich's Stephanie Plum novels, and this is three? Yeah, three. One for the money, two for the dough, three to get deadly. So it's got 3 novels in one. I know I had a teacher friend that used to read these all the time. She loved them. She thought they were great. They were funny. And so I read one, and I enjoyed it. I don't know if it'd be my favorite, but I enjoyed it. And so I saw this, and I thought, for, a couple bucks, get 3 books in one. Yeah, I'll give it a try. And so Stephanie Plum novels, the first 3 in the series. So BookTube, that is that stack, and I did it in 22 minutes. Not too bad. What do you think of those? Did I do all right? Again, I'm going to have a whole bunch more of these little book hauls. They're probably going to be in not quite as many books in a video. Less than 10 is what I was shooting for. It's what my stacks are anyway. But I'm going to continue bringing these to you so you can see what I got, so I can get them put away on the shelves. But thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. And until next time, happy reading.